Hello and welcome to this YouTube presentation on comparing the Zachman Framework with the Ripose Technique. My name is Charles Richter and I'm the Principal Consultant for Ripose Pty Limited, and I'll be explaining the major differences between the Zachman Framework and Ripose. In order to compare frameworks, it is important to identify the highest common factor that each structure purports to adhere to. In the case of Zachman and Ripose, they both claim to be a framework or technique that enables business operatives to align their business requirements with that of their information technology needs. Hence, I'll call these needs their information architecture. So what is information? In my opinion, information is something someone is told or reads or sees, yet may still have no understanding of what it is that they were told or saw or read. Whilst this presentation may contain information that you feel is controversial or inaccurate, please note our disclaimer, which is errors and omissions accepted. However, we do welcome your feedback and comments. In 1987, John Zachman published an article called A Framework for Information Systems Architecture. According to the Wikipedia, quote, "The Zachman Framework is a framework for enterprise architecture which provides a formal and highly structured way of viewing and defining an enterprise. The basic idea behind the Zachman Framework is that the same complex thing or item can be described for different purposes in different ways using different type of descriptions. The Zachman Framework provides the 36 necessary categories for completely describing anything, especially complex things like manufactured goods, constructed structures, and enterprises. The framework provides 6 increasingly detailed views or levels of abstraction from 6 different perspectives." Unquote. The table I've constructed shows the Zachman Framework aligned to the 3 subphases of the information architecture paradigm, namely the conceptual, the logical, and the physical. The 6 columns of the Zachman Framework represents the deliverables of each of the rows. Each phase has 6 deliverables, making a total of 36. If you recall, the Zachman Framework provides the 36 necessary categories to completely describe anything, especially complex things. In my opinion, these are the deliverables. I discussed the deliverables in another YouTube presentation called Zachman Framework, A Quick Guide. Each column's deliverables extends the detail of the previous row's deliverable. The order of the rows, according to what I have read, is not significant. Hence, they can be undertaken in parallel or serially. However, I must point out that a lot of the deliverables depend on brainstorming sessions to identify the components that make up the deliverable. Ripose, on the other hand, was developed over 3 decades of experience, since 1975, and is delivered in 3 major phases with 7 subphases. The 3 phases are Phase 1, the conceptual, with the objectives, knowledge, and systems subphases; Phase 2, the logical, with the data and application architectures subphases; and Phase 3, the physical, with prototyping and implementation of production systems. I've described the structure in an existing document available to you on the net. Please see page 3 of our Frameworks and Ripose PDF on www.ripose.org. Select Presentations link, followed by the Guide link, and then the Comparison link. This will provide you with a view to our stakeholders, deliverables, inputs, processes, and outputs. When the conceptual, logical, and physical phases of Zachman and Ripose are laid out side by side, it will soon become apparent that both Zachman and Ripose have a linear structure. Using Ripose, this demands that all the conceptual requirements of the organization must be identified prior to tackling the logical phase. As Ripose uses tried and tested rigorous set of techniques, this prerequisite has been achieved. The Zachman Framework, on the other hand, requires its followers to iterate through the 6 columns, like silos, in order to complete all the required deliverables. To summarize Zachman, firstly, it is based on the framework developed by John Zachman in 1987. Secondly, it is built on a matrix comprising 6 rows, also known as the scope, and 6 columns, which provide the answer to 6 questions, namely what, how, where, who, when, and why. Thirdly, the Zachman Framework is delivered over the 6 phases, covering the following architectures: business 2, information systems 1, and technical 3. And fourthly, it delivers 36 outcomes, with the deliverables in the following row being extended by the deliverables in the previous row. To summarize Ripose, firstly, it is based on a technique designed over nearly 3 decades of experience, since 1975. Secondly, it is an effective, efficient, ethical, and easy-to-use technique. Thirdly, Ripose is delivered over 7 phases covering the following architectures: business 3, Information Systems 2, and Technical 2. Fourthly, Ripose has a set of prescribed deliverables. So there you have it, a comparison between the Zachman Framework and the Ripose Technique. I will leave it up to you to decide which is the better. The first 3 phases of the Ripose Technique can be completed in less than 3 months. I'm not sure whether the same can be said for the Zachman Framework. In closing, I'd like to thank you for viewing this presentation. The PDF of this presentation is available for a small fee should you want to assist us further the aims of Ripose.com and especially Ripose.org. You can find the aims of Ripose.org on www.ripose.org. You can reach me by sending an email to charles.richter@ripose.com. Once again, thank you for your attention.